everyone. Today we will be using graphs to find the unit rate. So our essential question is, how do we find the unit rate on a graph? So we know that proportional relationships can be graphed. We graphed those in our very last lesson, and we noticed that they were proportional if they went through 0, 0, and had a constant rate, or the k. Today we're going to be looking at proportions, and we're going to determine what the unit rate is based on what they look like in a graph. So our first question that we're looking at trying to answer is to find the unit rate in miles per minute. So we're going to be using a graph that looks like this. Ta-da! So we're going to use this graph right here, and you can see that we have time in minutes, distance in miles. And we are going to use this graph right here to determine the speed in miles per minute. So the first thing that we want to talk about is what that looks like. So we're looking for miles per minute. So this line right here is the word per. Remember, it also means to divide. So we're looking at the miles divided by the minutes. Unit rate, we're looking for how many miles in 1 minute. So we're looking for 1 minute. So let's go ahead and check out our graph here. And we can look for 1 minute right here. So we're going to go along the x-axis where it says time. And we're just going to go over until we hit the 1. Once we hit the 1, we're going to go up and see where it lands on the number line, or on the line, the graphed line. If you notice right here, the ordered pair is 1, 1/2. 1, 1/2. So our ordered pair is 1, 1/2. So x equals minutes and y equals miles. So our job is to look at this ordered pair, and we're going to match up x and y. So when we want 1 minute, x is 1 minute, y is half a mile. So this means that we go half a mile in or per 1 minute. So we can use this graph to determine how far we can go by using this graph right here. So miles, minutes, miles per minute. So half a mile in 1 minute. Okay. All right, let's do another example. And in our next example, so you're just reading the graph. So our next example, we're looking at paint and knowing how much paint a power paint sprayer can paint in X minutes. So how many square feet it's able to paint in minutes. So let's go ahead and go back to here. And we're going to look at example B. And for example B, we're looking at, what did I say? Area per minute. Okay, and the area is in square feet. Okay, square feet or feet squared, however. So we're looking for the area per minute of paint being sprayed. It also wants to know, it's also asking how much feet squared in 8 minutes. Okay, so we have two different questions here. We want to know the area for 1 minute, and then we also want to know for 8 minutes. So our first job is to use the graph to find 1 minute. So we're going to use our graph again. And in our graph, we can come here and we can look at time. Time is on the x-axis. So we know that, again, x equals time. And then y equals square feet. So when we're looking at x comma y, we're looking for 1 something. What is the something? So we're going to be matching those together. So we're looking at time. And when time equals 1, we're going to follow that up. Square feet equals 20. So 1 comma 20. Oops. I'm going to put this over here so you can see it. Switching back. So 20 was our square feet. So we can do 20 feet squared in 1 minute. So they want to know then how much in 8 minutes. Well, we can use cross multiplication, or we can use our 1 times what gives us 8 and do the same to the top. So we can use cross multiplication, or we can just say 1 times 8 is 8, and on the top we can multiply by 8 and get our answer. So 20 times 8 gives us 160 feet squared. So how much feet squared in 8 minutes? 160. So again, all we're doing is we're just using these different graphs that they give us as a tool. So we're using the graphs as a tool. Our job is to read the x-axis first, look for 1, and then put whatever the number is on top. Okay. All right, I think that we are ready for some try-its. So again, unit rate is just looking for a base of 1. Once you have the 1, you can then move forward like we did in this paint sprayer example with finding 8 feet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the page now. We're ready to do some try-its. We're going to use the same graph for both of our try-its. So I want you to write the try-its down first, and then use the graph that I put on the screen to help you. So try-it number 1. I want you to tell the unit rate when we are using this graph right here. So we're going to use this graph. You can see it's how far in seconds. So how many inches per second. And I want to give you some context here. Oh, it doesn't have any. Okay, so we're looking at how far per second. So how many inches per second? Tell the unit rate in inches per 1 second. And then the second question that I want you to answer, so inches per second, the second one is how many seconds to go 6 inches. So how many seconds does it take to go 6 inches? So write down both of these questions and then use the graph to answer. So I would hit pause right now and then hit play again so you can look at the graph using this graph right here. Let me move the graph over, maybe make it a little bigger. Okay, so hit pause when you're ready to use the graph, and then when you're all ready, hit play and check your level of understanding. so our first question says to tell the unit rate in inches per second. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to 1 inch. And I know when I use 1 inch, I have 1.5 seconds. So my ordered pair is 1 and 1.5. So when x equals 1, my y value is 1.5. So I go 1.5 inches for 1 second. I can now use this unit rate to say how far I go in how many seconds it takes to go 6 inches. So I'm going to take 1.5 over 1. Again, I have inches. I want to match that up to inches. Inches, inches. Seconds. Seconds, I'm going 6 inches. So I'm going to cross multiply and then I can divide. So I can cross multiply. 1 times 6 is 1.5 x. So this is 6 and 1.5x, divide by 1.5, divide by 1.5. And this gives me x equals, oh my gosh, I'm so far off the page you can't see. Okay, let's use our calculator so we can see. Again, this is not anything new. We've been doing this. So 6 divided by 1.5, the only new thing we've added is using a graph, is 4. So we can go 6 inches in 4 seconds. 6 inches in 4 seconds. All right, how did you do on these questions? How did you do? Go ahead and answer your essential question. How do we use a graph to find the unit rate? How do we use the graph to find the unit rate? And then put your level of understanding out to the side. How are you feeling about this? When you are finished, you can either come back to the Google Meet and ask for help, or you can go and do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.